What's up, castaways? This is Miles Away. Welcome back to another video. So today, the fine folks over at Walrus Audio reached out to me and asked me to check out their brand new pedal, the Eons 5-state Fuzz. Now, when they reached out and asked me if I'd do a video on this brand new pedal, I was initially kind of curious because I've never done a video on a full-on distortion or fuzz overdrive pedal before. But as it's an effect I use in all my music, I was up for the challenge, and I'm really happy that I did because this turned out to be one of the most underrated pieces of gear that I've used in a really long time. I know for a fact this is going to be all over my future releases for one simple reason. It's very hard to find a distortion or fuzz guitar pedal that's well set up for synths, and I think I've finally found it today with the Eons. Now, I'm going to show you guys in this video some of the creative ways that I like to use the Eons or other distortion pedals like it with my synthesizers, and I think you guys are going to be really pleased with the results because in my opinion this pedal sounds absolutely fantastic. But listen for yourselves as always. As for the demo track for today, I wasn't really sure what to do as my normal beautiful ambient or cinematic stuff wouldn't be fitting for a pedal. So I thought to myself, this pedal has a graphic of a goat on it. Goats remind me of demons. What do demons remind me of?
Your super shotgun is nearby.
Alright, so hopefully that demo track didn't absolutely destroy your speakers, but give me a like and comment if you liked it. It was totally out of my comfort zone and I had a ton of fun producing it with this pedal. So every single distortion sound you heard in that track was done using one of Eons' 5 different modes. It can do everything from screeching leads to absolutely massive basses, and as a bonus, I wasn't even using particularly complex sounds to feed the Eons. Now, my biggest tip for sound design using a pedal or a plugin like this, a fuzz distortion overdrive circuit, is try to keep your synth sounds as simple as possible and let the pedal do the sound design for you. Now, the reason for that is that when you're playing guitar, a lot of the time a clean guitar tone is very similar to a sine wave. And that's why these distortion and gain pedals can do such amazing things to a guitar signal, is because it's very basic to begin with. So by using a really complex synth sound with a whole bunch of wavetables and overtones and harmonics, you really aren't doing the pedal too many favors and you can get to noise very quickly, which is awesome if you want it, but if you want something a bit more musical, then I highly recommend using very simple sounds. Most of the sounds in that demo track that I used were pretty much just a square wave or a saw wave going into a low pass filter. So next, let's jump on in and check out the pedal's basic controls and 5 different modes to see how versatile this fuzz pedal is. Already right there on the stock settings sounds really fat. So we've got tone controls for bass and for treble. Can make a really mid-rangey tone or something that's really front forward with lots of high end. And one of the most unique things about the Eons here is the voltage knob. So basically what the voltage knob is going to do is we can go all the way from down to 3 volts to starve the pedal for power, or overdrive it all the way up to 18. Listen to how powerful that sounds. So starting with mode 1, mode 1 is a silicon clipping traditional fuzz that's well-rounded with a huge sound. It's compressed and smooth, and I've found that it works on pretty much any source, and it's one of my go-tos on the pedal. Let's move on to mode 2, which is silicon clipping with an added bass boost. We can hear right away that this absolutely beefs up the bottom end, and this is great for if you want to distort a sub bass or have something really rumble your subwoofer. But overall, I find that this one does lack a little bit of the character on its own, which is why it's great that we've got this treble knob to bring that back in. There you go, that's much more my style. Moving on to mode 3. Mode 3 is probably my favorite mode on the pedal. This is germanium clipping with a feel of what if Distortion and Fuzz mixed together and had a kid. It's crunchy, it's dynamic, and this one plays really, really well with the voltage knob. This one to me almost sounds like a Moog overdrive right here. And then with barely any voltage, it's got a great crunch and definition. Definitely one of my favorite modes. This is another one that benefits a lot from higher treble. Alright, mode 4. Mode 4 is LED clipping diodes with a slight high-end cut. So again, just like mode 2, this one's a little bit darker. So I don't find that I use this one quite as much, but just like mode 2, we can really overdrive it and crank the high end, and it starts to really open up. You hear how much that voltage control really just absolutely changes the sound? You know what? I actually really like that with low voltage. I hadn't tried that before, but that's probably going to be one of my go-tos for sure. And then finally, my absolute favorite mode on the pedal. I think I said before 3 was my favorite, but you know what? On that demo track you heard, mode 5 was the one that I used the most. Now mode 5 is just absolutely massive. LED and silicon clipping diodes combined with hard clipping silicon transistors. This is absolutely the rowdiest of the modes, and watch your ears as I crank the voltage. We're gonna get crazy. Oh man, that sounds so good. Let's play a little bit with our filter. Absolutely massive when we add resonance. Again, our raw sound. Watch your ears as I enable it again, but listen to what we're building off of this basic little Moogie bass sound. So for the final section of this video, I want to show you guys how I would actually use the Eons with other effects in the context of a track. And we're going to be using a very similar type of acid bass line like the one I made in that intro track. So let's go ahead and bring in the Eons and see if we can get something sounding good with the Eons and the El Capistan that could work in a really cool dark breakdown of a track like the one I made. That has less gain, but I actually really like that. Wow. Ooh, that goes really hard too. Very cool. Listen to all the different timbres and tones you can get out of this one pedal. Alright everybody, that brings this video to a close. I really hope that you guys liked the different demo track that I did. Again, let me know in the comments what you thought of that. It was a ton of fun for me to produce, and I really do like to flex my chops as a producer from time to time and do stuff that's out of my comfort zone, and I highly recommend you guys do too. Thanks again to Walrus Audio for sending over this amazing pedal. Looking forward to working with those guys in the future, and thank you to you for watching. Subscribe and like if you like this content, and I'll see you in the next video.